You finally got that tech job, but you're still frustrated with your career. You're not alone. There's tons of people out there just like you. What's the problem? Why don't you have the type of impact that you deserve? Why aren't you involved with the decisions that affect your team? Why does it seem like everyone else passes you by? Why aren't you getting that promotion? That's a tough pill to swallow. And the truth is, life isn't fair, and neither are careers. There's no rule book that teaches you to crush it. People tend to go about it blindly. Some do it better than others. So what do you need to do to navigate the waters? How do you push your career forward? Even if you do everything ethically correct, there's no guarantee that others around you will do the same. So how do you take control of your career? First things first, you have to understand that the cards are stacked against you. The very nature of business is to make a profit. That means there will always be a tendency to try to do more with less. You have to ask yourself, what's the best way to handle the situation? You can complain, you can grin and bear it, or you can navigate the waters to maneuver within this framework in a way that sets you apart. So specifically within technology, what do you need to do? So let's set the table. Let's say you're an ambitious and dedicated engineer that constantly keeps up with the technology. Yet it seems like everyone's passing you by. It seems like everyone else is making the money while you're staying stagnant. What's going on? What do you need to do? If you're really an ambitious and dedicated engineer, that means you're likely doing more than those around you. But be honest, are you really that ambitious and dedicated engineer? If you aren't, that's the first thing to address. Being the most technical person in the room is not an easy task. But if it sounds like you, then you're already ahead of the game. Now, here's where things get weird. You're the best person in the room. Shouldn't everyone notice? Shouldn't you get all the accolades and promotions? Well, we've all heard the cliche, great work gets rewarded with more work. Unfortunately, there's some truth to this. In a perfect world, we'd be compensated based on our merit. But we don't live in a perfect world. So how do you make your move? Trust me, it's completely the opposite of what you believe. If you impress your manager and do a good job for them, then they're going to do a good job for you by promoting you, right? Wrong. This is not true. I don't want to speak for all managers. The exceptional leaders will do this. But the truth is, most managers aren't leaders at all. Many managers are simply bad managers. Bad management is the cause for many, if not most of the problems in the corporate world. So if you're fortunate enough to work with a true leader, then by all means, keep knocking it out the park and things will work out. But for the rest of us, how do you handle the situation? This is where you need to step out of your comfort zone a bit. As technologists, we enjoy the technology. There's a reason that techies are stereotyped wearing a hood and banging away at the keyboard. But as technologists, we also have that alter ego that says, as long as I do my job, why does it matter what I wear? As long as I do my job, why does it matter if I work in the office or remotely? As long as I do my job, why does it matter what time I log in? Don't they know I was up last night working on an issue? It's this alter ego that needs to be adjusted. Perception is reality. And no, they don't know when you work or if you were up late last night. So starting from the top, and I know I'll get some pushback on this, but if you're in the office, dress the part. You're a professional, so dress like it. Don't use technology as an excuse to dress down. Why do I say this? Well, your peers aren't going to increase your upward mobility. We know that impressing your manager may or may not matter. So who are we trying to impress? You guessed it, everyone else. If everyone is dressed professionally and you're the one that's in a hoodie, you'll be remembered for all the wrong reason. And why is that important? The truth is, you're always building your brand. You want to stand out for the right reasons. You want to be able to connect with people outside of your team. See, this is a secret. Of course, you don't want to burn any bridges with your team, but you absolutely want to build bridges with other teams. This is key. Just because you're an engineer, you can't forget that this is a business. You have to treat your career like a business. And in every situation, it's a negotiation. You never want to go into a negotiation from a position of weakness. This is business 101. So when salary negotiation time comes or promotion time comes, how much leverage will you have if you're on the top of everyone's mind? See, if you're at the top of your manager's mind, he'll give you just enough to keep you where you are, doing a great job for him. But if you're doing a great job for 5 to 10 managers outside of your team, how do you think that negotiation goes? If you have 5 different managers saying the same thing, we need to keep him at all costs, then suddenly you have some leverage. But there's more to the negotiation. You must always communicate your compensation goals with your manager. When I hear people talking about this, they say things like, I've done this or I've done that. I've saved the company X dollars and I think I should be compensated Y. But entering into a conversation like this gives away your leverage and advantage. It's too easy for a manager to say no or, sorry, this is all we have. And boom, negotiations are over. A better approach would be to lay out your accomplishments. I've done this or I've done that. Then say, you know I'm a dedicated and loyal engineer. I have a compensation goal of X. What can you do to help me get there? This approach changes everything since it doesn't close the negotiation. Maybe the manager can cut a check, or maybe he can't, but it gives him time to explore other options. This is where that leverage comes in. Maybe that manager can come up with something creative. Follow up with him. If he can't do something for you, maybe some of those other managers can. The whole point of this is that just because you're in tech doesn't mean you won't benefit from talking to people. Everything we discussed about navigating your path had to do with your people skills and other people's perception of you. It had very little to do with your actual technical capabilities. Long story short, in technology, we fall into a certain category. Then, we want to learn from the people around us who are also in this category. And while you need to do that for your technical prowess, you also need to step outside of that mold in order to resonate with people outside the team. Technologists tend to be introverted, but does being an introvert make you a better technologist? This is an area in particular that I had to work on throughout my career. When I was James the engineer, no one wanted me talking to the business, much less executives. Today, I talk to the business and executives daily. Was it a coincidence that my career took off when I changed people's perceptions about me? I still talk tech with my team, but I present myself as a professional, not as a software engineer. And that's the crazy part. Moving up in tech has little to do with the tech. Yes, you need to be strong in tech, but it's perception that will advance your career. If you're one of the lucky ones that have all these people skills down pat, then check out this video where I talk about the 4 best technologies to learn today.